All right, and we're live. We're ready. I'm live
Yes,
with the awesome Jonah, formerly known, of course, to everyone as Bronson Reed.
that's
Uh,
me.
Thank you for joining us on a Wednesday night, a little bit before, of course, Wednesday, so you know what day it is, as they
Yes.
always say. We're going to go ahead and start sending out links to all the folks that would like to join us tonight for
Of
the
course.
virtual read portion.
Yeah, I got all my paint markers ready to go. They're all ready to go. 8x10s here. Obviously the elite action figures. I have my own elite action figure that I've made sure to keep for myself.
Oh, you have to. You
Yeah,
have
it's
to.
one of those things I feel like it's sort of like a bucket list for pro wrestlers to get an action figure. So it's such a good
Oh,
one
yeah.
as well. I'm very happy that I got it.
That's a big deal. I hope one day to have one myself.
Yeah, that's a
That's the
goal.
big deal. And did they just a question before we start bringing people in? Did they show you the figure before they made it, or did it just come out?
No, they so I saw like I didn't even see a prototype. No, I didn't. So Mattel just when I did the scans, they asked me for that gear in particular, obviously the Bam Bam Bigelow inspired gear that I wore at Takeover 30. So I knew that that's what it would look like, but I didn't know what the actual figure itself would look like. So I was very excited once I actually came out and I got to see it.
Did the tattoos all line up perfectly?
Well, so the funny thing about that is I had less tattoos when I did that scan.
Oh, okay.
So the tattoos that they do have on that figure lined up well. And then obviously with my exit to WWE, I didn't have to ask anyone to get permission for tattoos. So I sort of went and got a whole bunch more on my arms. So there is a new action figure that will be coming out this year through a company called Junk Shop Dog, if you guys know them. They're doing a line of like the New Japan Popey figures that were popular in the 70s and 80s. And I will be one of the featured guys in the series this year. So that will have all my updated tattoos.
Nice. I can't wait. I'll be purchasing that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so we're gonna bring Brian in. He got two figures, two elites.
Yep.
And then I'll let him pick his 8x10. Hey, Brian, I'm going to pop these up on the screen for you. If you could let me know which 8x10 you would like. There's this one.
Right.
This one.
Right.
That one.
Right.
Or the collage.
I want all of them.
Oh, you want all four of them?
Yes, sir.
All four. What a way to go.
All right, well, there you go. He gets all four and two elites. I'll let you guys enjoy.
All right, perfect, Brian. I'll start signing these for you. Is there any color you want in particular for all the 8x10s?
No, just pick your favorite color, Jonah.
I can do that for you. Do you want me to sign it to you, Brian?
Do it. Sign it to Brian the Monster McGraw.
To Brian the Monster McGraw. I'll start doing that for you. I'll do this one first. Where does the nickname the Monster come from?
I'm a big fella.
I'm the same. There you go.
I got a question for you, Jonah.
Yeah, what was
How
that?
was your time in the WWE? Like, what was your time like in the WWE? Like it wasn't treated good.
I mean, to be honest, I had a really great time in WWE. While I was there, I'll keep signing these for you. While I was there was very much when Triple H was in charge of NXT. And I had a great time working with him and Shawn Michaels. Obviously, that's changed a little bit now. But my little stint that while I was there, I was very happy. You know, I got to do a lot of things. Like I got to wrestle in the takeovers. And obviously, I got to have my action figure. I became North American champion. So a lot of things ticked off the box for me.
Right. I've been a big fan of their work for many years, and when I heard that you got released, it broke my heart because I was like, this guy is the next big thing, you know, because you had the speed, the power, the agility, and you were quick.
Yes. Yeah.
And you had everything to be potential to move up to the roster. You
Of
know,
course.
but hey, it's their loss. It's their loss. So
Exactly.
you know what? You just gotta stay positive. And you gotta keep moving.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel as well. Like I could have stayed in that rut and sort of, wallowed on it and not moved forward. But you have to always move forward in life. And I did have a great time while I was there. So again, just like what you said, it's their loss in the end. So I'm going to be doing some great things this year. So I'm happy to keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, sir, to come to the asylum to meet us, the fans. Because if it
Of
wasn't for
course.
you guys sacrificing your lives 300 days out of the year, we wouldn't have the entertainment to enjoy each and every day. So I'm going to continue watching you on TV and rooting you and be like, hey, I got to talk to that guy. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, you'll be able to see me. I was recently doing Impact and New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on New Japan Pro Wrestling. So you see me doing that. I'll still be out on the indies as well, doing stuff independently. And you had two of these, right? You ordered two of these?
yeah, I got two of those. I want one that says to Brian the Monster McGraw.
Yep.
Stay positive and keep rocking.
Yep.
And the other one just put your autograph on it.
And the other one just the autograph plain?
Yeah.
And would you like the Bronson figures? Some people want me to sign it as Bronson, or I can sign it as Jonah. I can do either one.
Do one of do one of each.
One of each?
Yeah.
I can do that for you.
I appreciate it.
I'll sign this first one.
If you can, when you're done, sign and hold it up for us.
Of course. So this first one you wanted to Brian the Monster McGraw, stay positive. That's what I'll do for you. Yeah.
Hey, David, I can't see him holding it up.
That's fine. He'll hold it up, and then I'll take a screenshot for you.
All right.
So I got the first one here signed. Colossal Bronson Reed.
Right.
And then this one here for you, Brian, is the personalized one to Brian the Monster McGraw, stay positive, signed from Jonah.
I like it, man.
Perfect.
And I see you got Terry Funk in the background.
I do, yeah. One of my favorite wrestlers all time, Terry Funk. Just above him is Andre the Giant picture as well. And as a wrestler, I'm always stayed a huge wrestling fan as well. But Terry Funk.
Me too. I've gotten back into it thanks to David and the guys at the asylum. They've been pretty awesome to me.
Oh, that's great. I love to hear that.
But thank you very much for your time today.
Of course. Thank you.
Bless you, brother, and stay safe.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that.
See you in 2 weeks for Thunder Rosa, brother.
All right, see you in 2 weeks, guys.
Thanks, Brian.
Later. Thank you.
All right, so we have
Miss. Side for Brian.
Go ahead. And we have up next Miss Kiera and John. It's not John though.
Okay.
They got a figure as well.
A figure? Yeah, sure.
How's it going, Ashley?
I'm okay.
What's up? How are you guys?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. I can't complain.
Wonderful.
So I got this one here for you guys.
Yes.
Would you want me to sign it as Bronson?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you want me to sign it to you? Do you want me to mention any names or anything?
You can do Takira.
Takira, yeah. And that is, I'm going to double check the spelling on screen there. It's Keirra.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, perfect. I'll sign that.
What do you want to ask him?
Addie.
Hello.
There's my little niece coming in to say hi.
How are you?
This is Addie.
Addie. Enjoying your Wednesday?
We are. She's coming to stay with Aunt Ashley. So
Oh, cool.
we're going to have fun tonight. She's taking over. So Kira wanted to know what your favorite match is, or what
The favorite match that I've had, or my
Yeah.
favorite match as a fan watching?
Favorite match that you've had?
The favorite match that I've had? I mean, that's hard to say. You know, I have a lot of favorites. Probably in WWE, it was the cage match I had with Johnny Gargano, where I became North American champion. So,
That's my favorite. So
yeah, that's probably my favorite one. Just obviously being biased because I won the championship, but also like Johnny Gargano is a great opponent. So it was really cool that not only did we get to wrestle each other for that title live on TV, but also in a cage as well. So I'd probably say that's my favorite. And I got this one here for you, Kira. So it's all signed.
amazing. It's literally amazing.
wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for getting one of the figures.
Oh yes, we've been looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, you have a good day. Thanks, David. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See you in a couple weeks for
Yeah.
Thunder Room.
Yep.
See you on the 17th.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So as we wait for a couple others to come in, we'll go ahead and do a couple of the folks that could not make it in with us tonight. Anybody in the chat, feel free to ask a question while we're doing that, and we'll pass those on to Mr. Jonah. So the next
Cool.
8x10 will be the collage,
The collage, yep.
this one here. And he'd like that to be signed to Nick and any inscription you'd like to add.
Okay.
And all these gentlemen want it signed as Bronson Reed, just so that way we can kind of
Okay.
get that out there. To Nick, N-I-C-K. There
That
you
one
go,
there for
Nick.
you, Nick. Put
Perfect.
the colossal in there. Bronson Reed. The red looks good, actually. It's a nice
Oh, yeah.
collage.
Yeah, the reds fit perfectly. You picked the perfect color for that. So we had a question from one of the fans. They wanted to ask, what is the big differences between Japan wrestling and wrestling in the United States that you've noticed?
I think it's the way that it's perceived, especially WWE. It's very much a television product, you know. Everything that we do is focused with cameras watching our every movement. Whereas in Japan, pro wrestling is sort of seen more as a sport, so it gets captured by the people that that are at ringside as cameramen. They're the same people that are at a tennis game or at a basketball game, so it gets shot a little differently, and that's sort of the biggest difference for me. So it's just the perception.
Got it. Another fan wants to know, how did you like wrestling in PCO?
How did I like wrestling PCO? He's a crazy man. So every night was a wild experience. You know, I think it was something different for Impact Wrestling to have us two, big bulls go at it. We did something special every time we were out there. He's one that does some crazy things, and I did some crazy things to him as well. There's a moment where I gave him a tombstone pile driver on the steel stairs that I still remains in my head because I heard his head make a huge clunk sound in the stairs as I did it. So it's something that I'll never forget.
And then he just got
yeah.
right back up after he sold it, of course.
Exactly. Yeah,
Did I kill him or what? I don't know.
Yeah, his moniker of PCO is not human is a real thing. I think he's 54 years old now, and he's going just as hard as he was when he was in his 30s or 20s. So I commend him for that. But yeah, I liked wrestling PCO.
All right, our next signature is there should be another Bronson figure, but I believe it's labeled to Dan Kramer.
To Dan Kramer. Let me have a look.
And if not, you can just grab whichever one. No big deal. They're all the
Got it
same.
right here, Dan.
Perfect. And we're going to have you sign that to Dan, the man.
Yep. To Dan the man?
Yep. And then sign it as Bronson Reed.
Perfect. Can do. To Dan the man. Here we go, Dan. To Dan the man. The colossal Bronson Reed.
The Colossal's a nice touch.
Yeah, I always make sure to put it on there. It's just, something. I think it's on the back here somewhere, so chuck it on there.
All right. Our next question is what was it like wrestling Johnny Gargano?
I was just saying to Kira before, it was a great experience. He's someone who has a similar mindset to myself when it comes to wrestling, and that's every time we go out there, we want to steal the show. We want to make sure we can have the best match possible. I never really phone it in or anything like that. I want to try and make sure that I stand out. And Johnny's the same, and we're very, very different athletes. I'm 330 pounds and he's 200 pounds. Like, there's a big difference between us, but we meshed really well. So it was always great getting to wrestle with Johnny Gargano.
Another fan asked, have you ever faced Keith Lee?
I have faced Keith Lee, actually. So I wrestled Keith Lee for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. It would have been 2017, I believe, maybe 2018. I think 2017. We had a hell of a match. I'm sure you can go find that out there wherever. I think PWG still sells DVDs from memory. I'm not 100% too sure. But we always wanted to work each other in WWE. And at one stage, it was something that was maybe going to become possible, but it didn't happen. So now, obviously, we're both doing different things. Keith's in AEW. I'm sort of focused more in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So hopefully there will be a time where we actually meet again.
All right. We're going to bring Michael Pam in to say hello. I'm going to let him pick his 8x10 first.
Of course.
Hey, Michael, can you let me know which 8x10 you would like? I'm going to put them up, okay?
All right.
This one, that one, or the collage?
I'm going to pick the second one.
This one here?
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect. So I'll grab that one for you, Michael. So this one?
Yeah, that one.
Do you have a preference in what color I use to sign it?
Huh?
Do you have a preference in what color I use to sign it to you?
No.
No? Yep. And would you like me to sign that just to Michael?
Yeah.
I can do that for you. I'll do that right now.
And so, how are you doing this season?
I'm doing really well, actually. Usually for pro wrestling, like, you don't do a whole lot during the week. Most of my time is taken up on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday wrestling or traveling during the week. So it's nice. At the moment, Wednesday, I'm not traveling, so I'm at home. I sort of had a relaxing day, and now I'm doing the signing for all you guys.
All right. So my question to you is, how do you like working with Impact Wrestling?
I liked it working with Impact Wrestling a lot, actually. So my time there at the moment is done, but it's sort of on a freeze. It's not over. It's just that I'm focusing more on New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'll be doing a lot more with them, and their dates started clashing a little bit. But I really enjoyed my time with Impact Wrestling, particularly wrestling Josh Alexander. He was someone that I always wanted to wrestle, and I was very happy I got to do it.
Oh my God! It's like when you wrestle against with Josh Alexander, my expression was, "Oh my God, he's beating up my dude," and you just wait until I meet him. I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna get him.
Yeah, I made sure. I mean, that was the way to leave my stamp on Impact Wrestling, was to debut by beating up their number one guy, which is Josh Alexander. So I beat him up good, and then we had that match, which was really good. I'll show you this, Michael, as well. I've signed it there to you,
Okay.
Michael.
Oh,
Signed you.
that's perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
thank you. Good color, right?
And one more question I gotta ask you.
Of course.
How did you enjoy being on NXT? May I ask?
Yeah, I did. I get this question a lot because of how my journey with NXT sort of ended, was very abruptly. So a lot of people sort of think that maybe I had a bad time, but I actually had a really great time there. As I was saying while I was there, that was when Triple H was in charge. So I got to work hands in hand with him a lot, and Shawn Michaels. So I got to learn from these guys that I looked up to as a kid. I got to learn from them and work with them one-on-one. So I have no complaints with my journey in NXT. I had a really great time there, but obviously just doing something different now.
Okay. Well, Jonah, thank you so much for taking your time to chatting with me.
Of course.
And because I'm a huge fan of pro wrestling. I have been since I was little. So
Yeah. I'm the same, Michael.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have for you. So
Thank you for coming on, Michael. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
you're welcome. Thank you, David.
Thanks, Michael. We'll see you for Rosa.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, our next one is a mail-in, and it should be labeled for Garrett. It might have been the card that you pulled up earlier when we were talking earlier, possibly.
This one here, I think, is Garrett.
Yep, that's it. That's for Mr. Garrett. I believe there's instructions in there, if I'm not mistaken.
It does say blue paint pen, and then I can't see exactly what it says. Please, something dry. Please.
Oh, I'm assuming he's just saying, please let it dry. It looks like he just wants you to sign it, and as Bronson Reed.
Yeah, I can do that.
Pen. And then I guess he's had issues with the cards not drying.
I'll make sure it dries. All right, Garrett, I'll make sure. So he wanted blue.
Let's see if we have other questions. Was there anybody in NXT you wanted to face that you didn't have a chance?
In NXT,
other than Keith Lee, because we kind of already answered Keith Lee. So
yeah. I'm trying to think of my time there in NXT. If there was anyone that I didn't get to work with that I wanted to, probably, to be honest, and it's sort of I passed and crossed at the same time, but Duke Hudson. So he's someone that's doing really well at the moment on NXT 2.0. But at the time when it was the black and gold NXT brand, he wasn't on television. So me and him go way back, training in Australia and wrestling in Australia. So he's someone that I would have loved to work with on television, and just timing didn't get to happen.
I would have liked to see you have a feud with Karrion Kross. I think.
Eventually, the way things were going, it looked like that was what was going to happen. And then obviously he moved up to Raw, and I was doing stuff for the North American Championship. So I thought it was going to happen down the line, but it did not, unfortunately. I got that one signed for you, Garrett.
There you go, Garrett. In blue.
And I'll make sure that it dries for you as well. I'll put it to a side.
All right. Did she have a chance to grab the shirt, or do you want to skip that for now?
What's that? Oh, she did. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'll open that one.
We'll do this for Adam next. Yep, that's it.
This should be it. Let me open it up.
Yep, should be a Performance Center shirt. He's mailing it around to anybody that was in the Performance Center. Yep, that's it.
It is, yeah. Where'd you get one of these?
I have no idea where he got it from.
I have one of these of my own. But generally, I mean, I think they might have sold them as merchandise for a little while.
Yeah, that might have been where he got it. He could have gotten it off the shop. So,
and he just wants me to sign it. Adam does.
Yep, that's correct. It's Bronson Reed.
I'll get that one open.
I think Athena signed it in black, I believe. Or
Yeah, I
I'm
can
not-
see. I can see that he's got Ember Moon on here
Yep, that's her.
and Bull Dempsey as well.
Yep. So you're going on the shirt. He's going to get that around. I told him he's got a lot of signatures because mostly everyone goes to the Performance Center now, for the most part.
I know. Yeah, yeah.
I think he's doing more of the original black and gold brand though too. So,
that's cool.
We see you, Dan. We'll bring you in a second, buddy.
Well, here we are, Adam. I am on the shirt. Colossal Bronson Reed.
He's going to be so happy. And honestly, the dates lined up for him too, because when we had you originally, when we thought we were going to do this originally, there was no way I would have made it to you on time. So
yeah, okay, good. I'm glad that it worked out how it did.
All right, Dan, we did your elite already because I wasn't sure you were going to make it, but I'll bring you in for your meet and greet. Hey, Dan, how's it going?
Hey, Dan,
doing good, Dave. How you doing?
Doing good.
How you doing, Jonah? How you doing?
Yeah, can't complain. What about yourself?
I'm doing good. I was going to ask you, what would be like a dream opponent in the future, like from New Japan or from anywhere, really?
Yeah, I always have my eyes set at the very top. You know, recently with Impact Wrestling, Josh Alexander, who's their champion now, was someone I wanted to work with. I got to do that. Someone that I didn't get to work with in Impact Wrestling was Moose. So Moose is on my list. He's someone that I want to get to wrestle. But my number one with New Japan Pro Wrestling and everything that I'm doing is Okada. You know, he's the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And me being me, that's what I want to do. I want to always set my goal right at the top. So he's on my list. Number one is Okada.
I think that'd be really good.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I hope so. You know, I think soon enough, obviously, with how the world's been, it's been harder to enter into Japan and stuff. But it looks like sometime really soon you'll get to see Jonah in Japan.
Well, good luck with that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Dan.
Yeah. Will you be working that Forbidden Door with the AEW in Japan or no?
At this stage, I have no clue. So the Forbidden Door is very much the Forbidden Door. So I think that on the day you might see some surprises, you might not. So
I'm sure.
Yeah, at this stage, I'm not too sure.
All right. Well, I just want to come in and say hi. So thank you.
No, thank you, Dan. Thanks for getting the figure as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Yep.
Thanks, Dan. I had him put to Dan the Man like we always do. So
Dan the Man.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thanks, David.
Dan. See you, buddy.
Yep, see ya.
All right, our next thing to be signed is a 8x10, the collage.
The collage, yeah.
And we're going to make that to Sly, S-L-Y.
S-L-Y, like Sylvester Stallone style.
Yep. His name is Sylvester, so that's probably why
there
he
you
calls
go.
himself Sly. Yep.
And would you like that signed as Bronson?
Yes.
Oh, he doesn't have that. Yep.
Bronson is good. And while he's doing that, folks, I'm going to pop these up. We have these available 8x10 options. There's option 1. You can just comment if you want to claim, and then we'll get the PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App over to you. There's option 2, Legends of Wrestling. Option 3, one of the best-looking belts that WWE has today. I think it's the best belt they have on the roster right now.
I agree.
And of course, the collage. I'm an old school belt guy, and that just reminds me so much of old school belts, and it's the best one they have.
Me too. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the old school looking belts, especially like the 90s Eagle Championship was probably my favorite championship. So when they came out with the North American Championship, I was like, that looks perfect. Like that's the sort of belt I want to win. I got this one for Sly, all done.
There you go, Sly. Looks good. So a fan asked, did you get an actual replica belt for your collection? Like, did WWE give you one?
I did. It's wait, this side, right above my head.
And that's the
That's
real
correct,
belt
yeah.
you held, or is that just a replica version?
So it's not the real belt; it's a replica. So I mean, I would have loved to have the real belt, but that's still there at NXT. My good friend Cameron Grimes has it at the moment. But with WWE, I mean, some people like to get the replicas, some don't. But for me, I was like, I won this championship. I want to make sure that it's remembered. So they were nice enough to give me that replica. WWE were.
Yeah, we were talking to Lisa the other day, Victoria, and she told us, I don't like collecting my own stuff. I don't like wearing my own shirts. I told her if I was in wrestling, I'd have a shirt, I'd have a hat, I'd have socks, I'd have figures all over the place.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I like I wear my merchandise to wrestling shows, not really around when I'm not wrestling. I won't really wear my own clothing. But I'll wear my merchandise to shows, and as for stuff like figures and belts and stuff like that, I always collect those things. I mean, I'm a big wrestling fan, and I'm a big action figure guy. As you can see behind me, I have I have a big Abdullah the Butcher collection, Dusty Rhodes collection, like certain guys that I collect. So I had to get my own figure for sure.
he can put a silver dollar in his cut.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that. I've seen that.
So Chris Ballard would like to know, is it important for a wrestler to compete at an IWGP event?
Yeah, I think so. Like, is in for the championship, as in the IWGP championship.
I'm assuming he just means event in general.
Oh yeah, I think so. Me being the type of wrestler that I am, I came into the business pretty much how a lot of like independent wrestlers start, and I think the best way to become like a complete pro wrestler is to go to all these places. I started on the indies. I was grateful enough to then tour around the UK and wrestle in different countries. And I feel like that's how you become a more well-rounded professional wrestler. I got to learn the Japanese style when I was younger. I wrestled for Pro Wrestling Noah for a few years. I've been to Mexico. I've wrestled all around the world. So I think it's important to do those things.
And I hate to plop this on you last minute, but Brian, who joined us earlier, is asking if you had any ring worn you'd be interested in selling.
I actually do have some ring worn stuff on my. I have a shop on my Instagram that you can go to that I have a singlet that I'm interested in getting rid of. So he can go there, or if there's something in particular that he's seen, he can let me know. Feel free to hit up my DM on Instagram.
Okay. And then Jerome's asking, how is it working with the walking weapon?
With the walking what?
Walking weapon, I'm assuming he means.
Weapon.
He typed weapon. I was like, well, maybe it's a special ways of pronouncing
weapon?
it.
I was like,
The walking weapon.
Yeah, fantastic. Again, he's a very like hard-hitting style of wrestler. Old Josh Alexander from Canada, but I'm very much the same as well. So it was very much a fight in there when I was in there with him, and it was just a matter of time before either I knock him out, he knocks me out, or he gets that submission. So yeah, very, very cool with the walking weapon.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe he should change his name now. If he goes to WWE, they might do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It'd be Alex Joshander walking weapon.
All right, so we have this one, and we're going to make that to Harlan, and I'll spell that for you.
Okay, no problem.
And you can sign that in that pretty red you've been signing it in.
Perfect. So to
Harlan, Harlyn.
Harlyn.
Got it. And I'm going to go now and check out your Instagram because I kind of want to see what is available on your.
Yeah, if you go on the Instagram, there's in my bio, you can click the link tree.
Yep.
And then you'll see there's a big cartel, which I need to update because I only have one cap left, one hat left. So I need to update that.
I see you have a worn tee. Oh, I see. Okay, you got the singlet.
Yeah,
excellent.
I have.
And this was worn in WWE.
I did. Yeah, I wore that on.
Oh, you
NXT.
got a picture. See, you're ahead of it. You got a picture and everything. That's the key.
That's the key, of course. Yeah. I have this one for Harlan done.
Perfect. Yeah, that red just pops on that.
It does. Yeah, But if anyone's interested in other gear, I've sold a few things privately over Instagram. So I mean, sometimes I get bombarded with some pretty random DMs, but I do check through them at least once a week in case there is anything like that or any business that goes there. Because sometimes, even though in my link tree I have my email, sometimes people just contact me via Instagram, so I get it.
All right. And we're going to do a figure.
Yep.
And he wants it signed in blue. I think blue will look good on that.
Wants it signed in blue?
Yep. And then
Yep.
just signed as Bronson Reed.
Okay, I can do that.
Feel free to ask any further questions you guys have. We're not going to keep Jonah too much longer, but you guys have time to grab a meet and greet or an 8x10. Feel free. Yeah, it looks great in blue. Yeah, that's good.
It does look good in blue, especially because the trim of the figure is in blue as well. So
I think
like
any color is going to pop on that figure though because of your ring attire.
I was going to say I sign it in blue, yellow, red, like anything with the ring attire pops really well.
Joe wants to know, who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
So I went through waves. So I've been a fan of wrestling my whole life since I can remember. The first sort of stuff that I watched as a very young child, 3-4 years old, was your classic WrestleMania 1-6. So like guys like Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, those guys were sort of what shaped me as a little kid. But as I was a little bit older, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, definitely two of my favorites. WrestleMania 12 was something that I watched over and over again for the boyhood dream. Then years later, I was lucky enough to work with him one-on-one. And then as a teenager, my favorite wrestler was probably Kenta Kobashi. So he's someone that I actually started getting into Japanese wrestling as a teenager, and he became my favorite along with Samoa Joe because he was having that crazy Ring of Honor title run at the time.
That's awesome. I assume you like Andre too. So.
I'm a big Andre. So, I mean, I have a lot of favorite wrestlers, Terry Funk, Andre the Giant, Dusty Rhodes. They're some of my favorite guys from like that era. Also from the Attitude Era, it's guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was very, very much influential in what I do. And NWO, anything NWO I was a big fan of. Mainly the Wolfpack, though. I was a big Kevin Nash guy.
All right, so we're going to bring Brian in, and he's going to get this 8x10.
The Legends of Wrestling one, yeah.
And you're up, Brian.
Hey, David. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Brian?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Would you like this in any particular color? Is red okay?
Oh, yeah, whatever you think is cool is fine.
Yep. Do you want me to sign it to Brian?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Perfect. I can do that for you.
Awesome.
So I got that one there done for you, Brian.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, wow, that looks awesome. Thank you.
Perfect. Did you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I was just like, I guess, were you like a fan of wrestling growing up? And like, who won? Like, what was there a superstar that you wanted that made you want to be a wrestler? Or
yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I've been a fan of wrestling my whole life, and I was very influenced by the WWF 90s and WCW as well. I watched both shows. I watched Raw and I watched Nitro as well. So I was a big fan at the time of the Monday Night Wars. And then as a teenager, I discovered Japanese wrestling and independent wrestling. And I think that there was a few wrestlers that I watched that made me actually want to become a wrestler. And one of them is Samoa Joe. So he was someone for me that I could identify with, and he looked sort of a little bit similar to myself. And getting to see like all the crazy stuff that he was doing in Ring of Honor and then Impact Wrestling and then eventually WWE, it inspired me to become a professional wrestler.
oh, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
I've been a fan for a long time too, since I was like 7 years old.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, my whole life.
Yeah, started off as a Hulkamaniac and then never looked back since.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's how most of us would have started. Like, myself from a very young age, I remember watching all those first WrestleManias, 1, 2, 3, all the way through, I think Hogan was all the way through until 9 before he left for WCW. So
Yeah.
very much a Hulkamaniac as a little kid.
Yeah, I remember those some good old days. I used to go to Blockbuster Video and rent the. Oh my god, I used to rent a video every week.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. Yeah, I had a uncle who was obsessed with wrestling, and so he would always hire the newest release every weekend, and I would generally go stay at his house on the weekends and watch wrestling with him. So I was very much the same. I was always waiting for that new VHS to come out at the time.
Yeah, it was good. I would play like rewatch it and rewatch it. It was like wear the thing out basically.
I did the same thing as a kid where I'd borrow the same video over and over. Like I'd get WrestleMania 2 for some reason, and I'd just keep hiring that one every couple of weeks. And I remember like my stepdad getting angry at me, like, get a different one. Like you always get this same one. And I was like, I like it.
Well, you like what you like, Yeah, I always, if I like something, I'll just keep watching it over and over.
Yeah.
And, I rented a lot of the same ones myself a lot of times. And then the new ones that came out, yep.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was the same. I always did that with like VHS, and then as a teenager, obviously DVDs became a thing, and then I'd try and buy as many wrestling DVDs as I could.
Yeah. So it must have been a thrill. Like you started with NXT, right? You would
Yeah.
Wow. How was that process? Like with the whole how you got hired with them and everything, and with the training facility with the PC.
Yeah, it was great. I'd been wrestling for about 10 years independently, like mainly in Australia. That's where I'm from originally. And then I wrestled in Japan for a few years for Pro Wrestling Noah. And then eventually, like with a lot of hard work, I did a couple of tryouts for WWE. That's how I got signed and ended up at the PC and NXT. So it took me a while to get there, but once I was there, I was very happy. And it was a good experience. I got to learn a lot while I was there with NXT from some great people like Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah,
also, wow. Scotty 2 Hotty was one of my coaches for a while, and he's a great mind in wrestling. So it was great just to be around these people and just be a sponge and absorb everything that they told me.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, especially because Shawn Michaels is like my favorite of all time. So that would have been awesome.
Yeah, same here. He was one of my, he's in my top 5, and when I first met him, I was a little scared, because I'd watched him my whole life.
Yeah.
And then it was sort of surreal at a point where you go from idolizing someone to being workmates. And then after a while, like I would always have to sort of like remind myself that this is, it's not just Shawn who I show up and speak to at work. It's Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels. So,
well, it's still cool, man. Well, it was very nice meeting you, though. It was like
nice to meet you too, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thanks Brian.
David. Thank you.
See you, buddy.
See you around. See you next one.
All right, so I don't know if you want to do it offline or now. We sold the gear that was on your store, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotta check my.
Oh, we're gonna send it to you directly. It didn't sell on the store, so when we send over to your PayPal, it'll come through that.
Okay, let me check. I'll do that for you right now.
Yeah, so what we basically have you do is you'll just pack that up with our stuff and we'll ship it out to the get.
Perfect. I think I have it in the next room. So give me 2 minutes.
That works. I'll show the 8x10s while you do that.
Perfect. I'll go grab it and I'll be back.
All right, folks, just so everyone is aware, we have 9 Elites available left. These are beautiful in blue, yellow, green, any color. It pops because of the box and because of the outfit. So we have 9 of these left to get and purchase. You can get a meet and greet with it, or you can just purchase it signed. Here are our 8x10 options. There's option A, option B, option C, North American Champion, and option D, Collage. So if anybody wants to comment options that they would like, you're more than welcome. And these are what we have. But the big thing is I know you guys love Elites. We have 9 of these available to purchase now. So don't miss out on your opportunity to get it personalized if you do want that done. If you want to get an 8x10 personalized, don't miss out on that opportunity while you have time. We're going to get Jonah out of here because he's a wrestling fan like all of us and wants to enjoy the show tonight. So
There it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, he
Yeah.
just wants you to sign it. He wants you to sign it, Bronson Reed, and he'd like you to add North American Champion.
Yep.
And then if you can also add ring worn on it as well.
Ring one. Can do. I'll sign it on the red and black so you can see it all perfectly.
Oh, yeah. That'll look great. Thanks again, Brian. He's been up in his collection, so he got.
Hey, yeah. I mean, gear is always something pretty special. You know, we as wrestlers always are very particular with what we wear and how we. You know, I myself design my own gear, so like I design it and then I have someone that makes it for me. So like, I feel like if you can get something like that, it's a special piece to have in your collection.
Oh, absolutely. Whether he puts it in a shadow box or some guys get the little mannequins and put them on those. I have a Teddy Long suit that I put on a mannequin that he wore during SmackDown. Yeah, he was selling it during a Ron Simmons, and I was like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Can't not have a Teddy Long suit.
Here we go.
There you go, Brian.
Ring-worn NXT North American Champion, Colossal Bronson Reed.
That's awesome. And that's been worn several times, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Quite a few times before, obviously, COVID happened. We had the live coconut loops. This was something that I wore quite a lot, and also touring around the country. And then I wore it on television, which was my return during that COVID era. I had a few weeks where I was not there. So this was the gear that I wore when I returned back.
Chris, I think he does. He's asking if you have any shirts or hoodies. I think you do on your store. You have a shirt, right? Let me see.
I do have a shirt, but does he want it to wear himself?
Do you want it to wear, Chris, or do you want it for a sig to be signed? We'll wait to see what he says. Because he's got a ring-worn T-shirt on here that says Top Dog. That's pretty cool.
I do have that. Yeah, I have the ring-worn T-shirt that's a little more expensive. That was in my debut in Impact Wrestling when I beat up Josh Alexander. I have that same T-shirt available, but I only have it in size large at the moment until I restock it. So I have to actually go into my Big Cartel and change a few things now.
And he's got a Fear Me T-shirt on here as well. So I believe he says if he gets one, he'd want it signed. He's saying, do you have any WWE ring-worn shirts or hoodies by chance?
WWE ring worn. I will double check right now. I don't think I have any left, but I'm going to double check just to see because there was a few Colossal Bronson Reed shirts, which would be in my size. It'd be a 2XL that I believe I did wear on television, but I'm just going to check to see if I still got them.
Okay. I'll plop up the 8x10s again while you do that.
Be 2 minutes.
All right. We still have elites available. Chris, he's going to grab that for you. Just keep in mind, whatever we price it at, it's going to include the signature cost as well. So it will add the signature fee and then shipping fee to that. So, and then so here's the elites. We have 9 available. We have the Collage 8x10, North American Champion, Legends of Wrestling Jonah, and Jonah looking like he's going to squeeze your head and pop it. So if anybody wants an 8x10 or a elite, oh, sure, Chris. No worries, brother. He's checking now. Maybe he's got something left over. And we can get you a price on it. These are his personal items. So obviously, whatever he prices them at is what it's going to be. Remember, these are far and few in between, especially if he's been moving them, so he might not have very many left.
So he's in luck. I have one that I want on television. It's 2XL Colossal Bronson Reed. Signed, it'd be $100 if he's after it.
Okay, Chris. So if you want that, let me know. That's actually a good price. I'm going to send you what it would be with our little fee on it as well. It's not much more, my friend.
And these aren't available anymore on WWE Shop, so that's
All
another
signed and
thing to take into
shipped.
consideration.
I just sent you a PM, Chris, and that's his last shirt. So if you want it, let me know, and we can get that done for you now. So let's see if we have any other questions while we wait for that. We have a bunch of the same ones. Favorite opponent, we've already answered that one. Favorite wrestler, we answered that one.
Yeah, I have too many favorite wrestlers.
If they open the forbidden door with AEW, who's an opponent you'd like to have a feud with right now?
If they open the door, I mean, I'd be silly not to say CM Punk. You know,
Great.
He's again, I always try to aim for the very top, and he's the champion at the moment. He's someone that, again, I watched through my teenage years and inspired me to become a professional wrestler. So I'd say CM Punk. And of course, the dream match that I've always wanted my whole career, and again, we're very close in NXT to having it happen, but it didn't, is me versus Samoa Joe. So there's always that one as well.
His brain buster looks like it hurts.
Yeah, I could agree.
When he curls your I wonder if he could hit that move on you now, though. He seems like he probably still could if he wanted.
I mean, he's a big dude as well. Like, we obviously met each other backstage in WWE and spoke to each other quite a bit. But yeah, we never got to have that match. I think maybe he could try. I don't know if he could get me up, but he could definitely try.
Excuse me, he'd beat me up. It's called a muscle buster. That's his finisher, not a brain buster.
Yes, that is his muscle. Yeah, the muscle buster is his finisher. Yeah,
that thing looks like it hurts.
Yeah, I agree. So there's a pro wrestler in Pro Wrestling Noah, Muhammad Yone, actually did it as well around the same time as Samoa Joe. So I've taken the move before, and it does hurt. It does suck. So I did not want to take it again.
But he's such a pro. He probably doesn't hurt anybody when he does it. So
yeah. Joe is one of my all-time favorites to watch. And even now, like, you know, he was sort of on the sideline for a while there in WWE doing commentary and different stuff. I'm very happy to see him actually back in the ring. Obviously, him and Cole had a great match at their pay-per-view at the weekend.
All right, so we're going to do two of these. And the gentleman wants them in yellow, just signed as Bronson Reed.
Okay. I'll always put the Colossal on there for people as well.
There you go. That's really cool of you, because some people won't even add an inscription for you. So it's really nice of you. Joel's asking, who is your favorite Australian band?
Favorite Australian band? So for me, I'm a big hip-hop guy, as well as I listen to a lot of different music, but hip-hop is one of my main things. So there's a hip-hop group from my hometown that are very popular in Australia. They're called the Hilltop Hoods. They're probably my favorite group. If I had to say band, probably Australian band In Excess. If you guys know In Excess, they're very famous. I think they're famous here as well in the States.
He typed it too. He said his favorite is also In Excess. So
In Excess.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah, great band. So got those two done there for you.
There you go, sir. Your two elites are signed. Thank you, sir. So I will tell you that we've been very lucky on here, virtually and in person. A lot of our guests that we have end up joining AEW like right after they do our shows, like a couple weeks after. Like we had Athena 2 weeks ago, and she joins AEW. We had Malachi Black at WrestleCade a couple weeks later. He joins AEW.
Yeah.
So have they I know you probably wouldn't say if they did, but have they reached out?
Oh, well, I'm very open with all the fans. I have been in discussion with AEW before. It just didn't feel like the right time for me. I'm very much a guy. I'm not someone to sign to a place or go to a place just because. I feel like there has to be a reason. It has to be the right timing. And I always look at how I would fit in as well. And for the timing, you know, when I did get released, there was nowhere really on the card where I thought I'd fit in AEW. But right now, there's probably be a few opponents that I could definitely work with. But my focus, as I've been saying throughout as we've been talking, is New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that's something that I'm very focused on, and I want to try and bring to the light. Obviously, they're doing the show with AEW, but I feel like the last few years, New Japan has dipped a little bit. People aren't watching it as much, and I want people to watch it again. So I'm going to be focused on them for the time being, but there's always you could always see me at AEW as part of New Japan. So we'll see.
And last question of the day, a person would like to know, there's been rumors that AEW is bringing out a trios belt. Who would you pick as your 2 tag partners?
That's a no-brainer. So I'm part of a group called TMDK. We're starting to take over New Japan Strong, which is the USA version of New Japan, and we will be in Japan soon. And that's the mighty Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols. They were in NXT as well. I've been good friends with them and wrestled alongside them for the better part of 10 years now. So they're 2 that I'd choose and would win those trios belt just like that.
All right. So we just had a gentleman get 2 more elites. He'd
2
like
more
them
elites?
signed in red on these ones.
Yep.
And you can just sign them as Bronson Reed Colossal on those. These elites are flying off the shelf.
That's great. I mean, like I said, like obviously I'm a little biased because it's me, but even if I was going to, I'm a guy that collects action figures. This is an action figure that I'd want, just because of the presentation and the gear. I'm such a big Bam Bam Bigelow fan that I've had a lot of people say that to me. Like, I love that figure.
Oh, yeah, because it's got the kind of the flames colors and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wore this gear. I got it made purposely for NXT TakeOver 30 with intention of it being Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, I love it. Have you done, I've watched a lot of your work. Did you used to do a lot of headbutting and stuff too? Or
I do, yes.
I'm sure that you got to kind of cut that down a little. I'm sure it hurts.
Yeah. It's one of those moves that, it gets your opponent, but at the same time, you're hitting your own head. But I am Samoan as well, and Samoans are known for having a hard head in wrestling. So
Let me know, William, when you get you an elite sign, buddy. I will PM you, William, and see if you want one before we wrap up. Let's see. Yeah, I love the flying headbutt, but
Yeah, I mean, obviously my finish is a top rope splash off the top. I call it the tsunami because it's the biggest splash that there is in pro wrestling. But I used to do a flying headbutt when I was younger, and it was just a little too dangerous. As you're flying off the top, you don't know where your head's going to hit. If it's going to hit their shoulder, if it's going to hit their chest, it's going to hit their head. Whereas now with what I do, my whole body lands on them easier.
Can you do a? I think I've seen you do it before. You do moonsaults too, right, off the top rope?
I do, yeah. It's a very rare occasion that I do it, but for bigger shows like in my takeover match with Johnny and some of those bigger events, that's where you'll see me bust out the moonsault. Very much inspired by like Bam Bam Bigelow or like Vader. I'm a big Van Vader fan, so he would bust out that moonsault at pay-per-views, and it was crazy.
Tim says he'd like to see you versus Bray Wyatt.
Hey, that's one that I'd like to see as well. I was a big fan of Bray Wyatt and what he was doing. It was a huge shock to me, obviously, when I got released, but huge shock to me when he got released as well. I think you could say in the last 5 years, he's been the most influential wrestler that there is, I think. Himself creatively going from what he was as the cult leader, Bray Wyatt, to then the Eater of Worlds, to then the Fiend. I think it was incredible. And a lot of that is on him. He's a very inventive guy. So I'd love to have that match.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you get to your evening. Do you have any final words for your fans?
No, just thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I think the prints that you guys did choose there at the Asylum are great. I had some great colors here. So everything that I signed tonight came off looking really well. So I hope you enjoy getting it, and especially the figures as well.
All right, stay on for a couple more minutes for me when we go offline. Guys and gals, please make sure cheap little advertisement on our part because we have to do it. Please make sure you join us August the 20th for Wrestle Bash. That is in New Jersey. We want to make sure we see all our fans out there. And then we'll see you guys on the 17th where we bring in Thunder Rosa. Thank you to everybody, and we'll see you soon.